The Russian army's offensive actions in the Kharkiv region are, among other things, the result of the West's policy to limit the use of Western weapons for strikes on Russian territory. Analysts of the Institute of the Study of War believe Russia seeks to create a buffer zone along the border. To protect this area, Ukraine must strike back. It is up to Kyiv to decide whether or not to use U.S. weapons for this purpose, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stressed.
The United States is committed to helping ensure Ukraine winning this war. And I think we've shown that through the extraordinary support that we've provided and that we continue to provide. We have not encouraged or enabled strikes outside of Ukraine, but ultimately, Ukraine has to make decisions for itself.
There will be no more delays with military aid, Washington has assured. The USA will provide Ukraine with a new package of financial assistance worth $2 billion, Antony Blinken has said. The funds will be used to buy weapons for the Ukrainian army and will also be invested in the Ukrainian military-industrial complex. Meanwhile, London also promised to allocate 3.5 billion euros of aid to Ukraine every year. Kyiv has the right to use British weapons for strikes on Russian territory, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron has said.
Ukraine has that right. Just as Russia is striking inside Ukraine, you can quite understand why Ukraine feels the need to make sure it's defending itself. David Cameron, British Foreign Secretary, in an interview with Reuters.
Это очень серьезное заявление. Все-таки Кэмерон был значительное время.
This is a very serious statement. After all, Cameron was Prime Minister of UK for a considerable period of time. He is one of the top 5 British politicians. Here we can speak of a certain signal to Russia that the allies are ready to cross the red lines. First of all, in connection with the active development of the Russian offensive in the east of Ukraine. This is clearly a signal to the Kremlin and a kind of friendly pass to its NATO allies, who have long expressed doubts about the need for a ban on Western weapons strikes against targets on Russian territory.
The task of the USA and its Western allies is to prepare Ukraine for negotiations with Russia from a position of strength, former NATO Deputy Secretary of State Victoria Nuland has said. That is why the USA will soon give Ukraine long-range weapons, which the Ukrainian armed forces will be able to use on the battlefield as early as this summer. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.